Unconditional Positive Regard and Empathy Techniques by Jamie Farrell. What is unconditional positive regard? Unconditional positive regard is a technique created by humanistic therapist Carl Rogers. It is also known as UPR. Unconditional positive regard is valuing an individual as doing their best to move forward within their lives constructively and respecting that person's right to self-determination no matter what they choose to do. Unconditional positive regard is not about being nice, but understanding the other individual. I chose the unconditional positive regard and empathy technique because showing empathy is not as easy as many may seem to think. We all struggle with being empathetic from time to time, and most of the time we are unaware that we are lacking empathy. But empathy is fundamental in communicating effectively, and many people forget that fact. Communication. Communication is an essential part of life. Effective communication allows one to build and maintain healthy and effective relationships. By communicating effectively, an individual is able to give and receive information from another individual. And by doing so, they're able to understand one another accurately. 4 reasons we lack empathy are as follows. Anger is the first one. When we become angry, it causes one to block off feelings of empathy towards another individual. This generally occurs more so towards a loved one than a person or that we may not necessarily know. It seems that most people tend to have more empathy towards others that they do not know than towards a person that they care about. The second reason would be protecting oneself. Many people lack empathy because they are attempting to avoid getting hurt themselves. The third reason is identifying yourself. Many people who are lacking empathy tend to avoid feelings that remind them of situations that they went through, and therefore they try to not be empathetic in order to protect themselves and avoid those feelings that they may not necessarily want to feel. The fourth reason is fear of intimacy. For many people, it is easier to feel distant than close and intimate with others, which goes back to those feelings that many people avoid with those that they are close with rather than these feelings that they feel towards people that they may not necessarily know. Why use UPR and empathy to communicate? Many individuals utilize UPR and empathy to communicate because it allows individuals to understand one another more accurately. Being empathetic creates understanding by allowing an individual to walk in another individual's shoes. This allows individuals to feel comfortable enough to share their thoughts and their feelings, and this in turn creates a safe environment. How to incorporate UPR and empathy techniques in everyday life. A number one reason is to simply have an open mind about other individuals. Not allowing one's personal opinions and biases to affect their opinions of other individuals is essential as well. Always remaining objective, not being judgmental, and always paying attention and being patient while the individual is speaking and expressing themselves.